On October 4th, 2023, at around 2:20 in the morning, I was sitting beside my mom's bed while she was dying. And I was holding her hand, I was singing her songs and telling her stories. And I was right there till the end. My mom had a big fear of dying alone. I could sense that after my aunt passed away by herself. She said a couple of things that made me realize that that was one of her biggest fears. She didn't die alone. I was right there till the end. And oddly, that's what started this journey. Why I feel the things I feel now. This is what started me looking into all kinds of different things like this. This is how to deal with the death of a loved one. So after my mom passed away, it was a weird feeling. I had been terrified of that moment. I had been terrified of that situation for so long, and then all of a sudden there it is. And I know I'm not the first person to lose their mom, and I won't be the last. But it's a situation it's hard. Losing my dad was hard too, and I didn't handle it well. I guess maybe I didn't know what I know now, but I didn't handle his death very well. And so one thing, we as humans, the one thing that we are guaranteed, there's only one single thing that you are guaranteed, is that you are going to die. No matter what you do in life, no matter if you're the richest person in the world, the poorest person in the world, you are going to die. There's no escape from it. There's no money. There's nothing. There's nothing you can do to escape that inevitability. And that's the first thing that you need to accept in the way that you deal with death. We've become such a society, we look back in history and stuff and we see all these, like, how people used to have these giant families because the mortality rate was really high back then. So they knew that some of the kids were probably going to die. And it happened. You can go in the graveyard that my mom and dad are both buried in. There is so many little kid and child memorials in those graveyards. It's a very old graveyard, so it goes back. And the people back then understood death. It was more part of their life. We are so privileged now that we live in a time where things that would kill you just 100 years ago aren't even on the table anymore. So we've distanced ourselves from death. We've gotten to the point where death isn't in our lives nearly as much as it used to be. It still happens, and it's never easy when it does happen, because we don't deal with it on such a basis like that anymore. There's a story that Sadhguru tells about a cobra and how a cobra dies. And what it does is, when a cobra knows that its time is coming to an end, it goes up into a tree and it finds a branch that it likes, and it just lays there. And it doesn't drink or eat until it dies. It knows its time is coming. It goes there and it dies. Even if you take the cobra down in its starving state and try to feed it, make it drink, it won't. And if you let it go, it'll climb right back up, wait to die. And that's because in one of the previous episodes, I talked about how we're cursed with this rationality that we have. That's because things like the cobra and animals like that are in tune with their mortality. They know that death is coming, so they don't make a huge fuss of it. For them, death is just another part of life. So they go and they die and they do it gracefully. We have lost that ability. Even us, and I'm looking at me, even us, we try to prolong it as much as we can, even when it comes to like my own personal experience. My mom was on so many medications that were literally keeping her alive. And they told me this. And it took 2 days of them kept mentioning comfort care, comfort care. Comfort care is letting someone die. Their body is done. The fight is done. And letting them die. And a doctor came in and I said, what are the options? And he said, well, your mom's kidneys are not functioning at all. So we can go in. We can make it so she can do dialysis. But she's not strong enough to ever come off the ventilator. But she'll be alive. Her body will be alive. And it was a big struggle. It took, like I said, it took a day and a half, 2 days, somewhere in there, to realize that that was just the absolute worst thing I could possibly do for my mom. Her body was done. It wanted to go. Life wanted to move. We're born, we live, and we die. Life is always moving. After death, always moving. We're eternal beings, and life is going to continue to move. The cobra understands this. These animals that aren't cursed with our logic understand this, and they do it very gracefully. And we've learned. We've come to a point where we try to prolong it by any means necessary. Now, I'm not saying that everybody should go to the hospital and just die, or just stay at home and just die. We have enough medical know-how now that we can, if something's small, that we can keep you here on medication or something, yes. But you don't want to turn your loved one, and you don't want to turn yourself into a piece of machinery that is just being kept alive by modern science. Life needs to move. The last thing we do on this earth is death. But it's not the last thing we do. It's just a little teeny tiny point. To us, it seems so huge and ominous, but I guarantee you that after it's done and after you're on to wherever, it's going to seem like such a small thing. It's probably going to seem like man, I'm glad that's over with. We need to learn how to accept that gracefully. Us as the loved ones, and even us as it's pertaining to our own mortality. We understand, we need to get back to understanding that mortality is the fundamental reality of our existence. This is life, and it is short, and it is finite. There is a time. We don't know the time. It may be 2 days. I may have a heart attack walking out of my building today, or I may live another 40, 50 years. Another story. If you're watching this channel, I'm going to bring up Sadhguru a lot. I love the guy. He influences me a lot. So in the yogic traditions, when you build a big house, when you build a nice house, and just like in Christian traditions, just pretty much every society, build a nice house. You have someone, if you're a believer, you have someone come and bless the house. Yogic traditions, they do either have a yogi or a seer or a sage or something like that come and do blessings on the house. Well, this couple built this grand house. and they invited a yogi. And when they welcomed him like a king. They gave him the best of everything, and they gave him just everything he could imagine. And he was doing around the house, doing prayers, burning sage, doing all the different things to bless the house. And then he said a prayer for the couple, and he said, I hope that first your parents should die, and then you should die, and then your children should die. And the people, the couple were like, wait, what? How are you saying this? Why are you saying this nonsense? What, you wishing us all to die? And Yogi was like, did I say something wrong or something? What he was doing was blessing them that they died in an order that is natural. When you're a kid and you need your parents and you lose them, that is not a natural death. That's not natural in the natural ways of the world. Your parents are supposed to be there for you to help raise you. It's unfortunate it happens. If you're a parent and your child dies, that is wholly unnatural. I don't know if I could deal with it. I don't know if I could actually make it through the anguish of that. I like to think I have a grasp on things, but I don't know if I'm that strong yet. I don't think I'd ever be that strong. Yogi was blessing them that they lived natural lives and died in natural order. And a lot of us don't like to think about that. But do you want to die before your parent does? Do you want to put your parent through that? Look at that through their lens. They don't want to watch that. They don't want to, have that happen. There's a natural order to things that your mind accepts. And so, when you have a parent that's dying and stuff, you gotta realize that this is part of life, that this is part of our experience as humans. Sorry, really dry mouth. It is what it is. And I told you I don't do much editing. Not a fan. So there's a proper order to things. And we want that to happen in that proper order. It's always going to hurt. We have someone, me for example. My mom died this past year. I'm coming up on the 1 year anniversary of her death. In my head, I want my mom back. But, it's a knee-jerk reaction. But I know that would be, that if someone had a button right here that said, you can make your mom come back and live for another 20 years, I wouldn't press it. I mean, I want her back. I want to be able to talk to her. But I know she's in a much better place than us. I would never take her away from that. And then, we always asking for more time. So let's say my mom was here and I got another 20 years with her. Am I going to, suddenly, is that going to make me feel better when she dies 20 years from now? No. I'm still going to feel just as bad as I did and have just as the amount of feelings I did when she died in October. So we have to realize that life is going to end in death. It's a natural process. If you're blessed enough to have a mom or dad, live way into your adulthood, then you are truly blessed. A lot of people don't. But then past the death, we make a giant fuss out of our parents being gone, or all of this. It's warranted. Not saying it's a bad thing. But a lot of times, we turn them into a source of misery. And you have to ask yourself, do you think they wanted that? We turn their memories into pain. When your mom's alive, when your dad's alive, when whoever is alive, and you're thinking about a happy Christmas, and they were giving you this gift, and you can play this all out in your head. It makes you so happy. And then when they die, and you think about it, why should that memory make you sad? Because you're not going to get it again? That memory didn't change. Nothing changed in that. That memory is still a wonderful, happy memory. There's nothing that can take that away. But we get so into ourselves and the hole that was left by them leaving, we turn those things into bad memories. That's something that needs to be worked on. That's something that I work on constantly. I'll think of something, I'll remember something my mom said or my dad said, and it'll make me sad, and I instantly stop myself, and I'm like, this is not sad. It was wonderful, and I try to play that moment over and over in my head, being happy, because that's what it was. It was a happy memory. It's almost a dishonor to them to turn those memories into bad things. And it's really hard, but it's worth working on. Another thing we do is we have them alive inside us. I know that's kind of cliche to say and stuff, but we have the people in our lives, our mothers, our friends, our family. They're who made us us. There's a small part of that person inside you influencing things that you do. You know I'm heavily influenced by my friends and my family, my mom and my dad. So as long as I'm alive, that person's alive. Or at least a small part of them is. And that's something that we should think about, something we should truly appreciate. That person was in our lives and was that profound of an experience that it changed who you are, and you're a better person because of them. And you should celebrate that part that's because of them. I know how to cook really well. I love to cook, and I know how to cook really well, and it's because of my mom and my grandma. And being in the kitchen with them is some of the best memories I have, and I love it. I think about them all the time. I think about Mom showing me how to make, whatever dishes, how to make biscuits, how to make, different types of desserts and stuff like this, and my grandma how to fry chicken, and just those are memories that are good. We shouldn't look back on those memories as they're bad. Now, something that's going to happen when your loved ones die, and it really, in the yoga culture, there's a word, ranana banda. There it is. Ranana banda. I think it's an A, but it's pronounced U. And it's the physical feeling that happen when someone dies. I truly believe that every cell in our body has a memory. And the closer you are to a person, and the more memories that are stored in there, when they're gone, when their life force is gone, those memories actually feel that. And Rananabandha is the actual physical feeling of someone being gone. When my mom left, went out in the truck. I went out to her truck. It was in the parking lot. And I sat there, and it felt like something was crushing me. I had physical pain. There's no science that can explain that. There's nothing that can explain that. But I had physical pain. And that's going to happen. But when that happens, even that, you should cherish that. That means that person's effect on you, that person's physical memory that is in your body is that profound. The level of that hurt is love, and it hurts, but we should appreciate how much it hurts. So that grief, that's that hole in our life, that's that part of our lives that is now gone because they're gone, or we see it as that way. We need to learn to address that better. We need to learn to keep their memories alive and well within us, and we should celebrate their memories. You should celebrate the person that's lost, because that's honoring their memory. You've got to work to think about those memories. They hurt sometimes, but think about them, and just a lot of times it may just make you laugh and laugh about it. It's good therapy. It's good therapy to, I think a lot of people that lose someone, they just try not to think about them. I think that's wrong. I think the better thing to do is to think about them, to think about those memories, and try to get it out of your head that that's not happening anymore. That situation's never going to happen again if they were here. Situations similar may have happened, but they're not. And that situation in your mind is not changed. It's still a happy memory. That's how we celebrate our love. That's how we can get past losing them. We can realize that it was such a wonderful, awesome thing that they were in your life this long, that they've made that profound of effect on you. And you celebrate those memories. You help make that part that made them happy, made you happy with them and stuff. You try to bring that out in you more, so that someday that'll be someone else's memory of you, and maybe they'll do the same thing. That's how you truly live forever, is affecting someone so much that it just keeps going. I'm not the best at it. I'm trying to get there. But we need to celebrate and honor the people we lost, not mourn them. That mourning is a thing that's going to happen. After that, you have to turn them into something good in your life, not misery. I can't think of a single person that you love, that you lost, that would want you to be miserable that they're gone. I think the best thing you can do, remember them, honor them, tell people about them, tell people these memories. It makes other people feel good. It makes other people smile. That is them living on. That is them continuously making someone else smile, affecting someone else in their life well. That's all I got for y'all today. I hope maybe that made you feel better, or maybe, give you a little insight. I'm trying here. If you like it, please thumbs up the video or subscribe. Really helps me out. Thanks. Oh, be peaceful and love one another.